Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me today to this training session about conflict management in the workplace. The objective of this session is to give managers the tools and the understanding of conflict management process, how to follow the easy steps, and how to gain some tools and knowledge to maintain professionalism and, of course, staying compliant with Australian laws. In our room today, we have Tom O'Connell, which is our Senior Manager Engineering, and Asha Said, Public Relation Manager. So thank you both for joining me today. Our training will take about 10 to 15 minutes. Starting first, we're going to be looking at the importance of conflict management into the workplace, looking at the different process and key steps, looking at techniques on how to stay professional and how to manage stress during those difficult conversations. Then we will look at different models and resolution approaches. And then finally, we're going to open the room for some questions. So, first, we're going to be looking at why conflict management matters. So, on our first slide, we can see that there are obviously many benefits to conflict management to have a structured process in place and to give you the tools on how to apply them properly. Of course, conflict management is important because maintain Also, managing conflict management within your team will help boosting the productivity, help with the well-being of the team, and helping keeping the trust high with the team members. And also, another very important point is to stay compliant with Australian laws. In this instance, we're looking at Fair Work Act, uh, work health and safety, and anti-discrimination laws, which they, of course, take major place in our conflict management process. And we will require for you to make sure they are applied fairly and promptly for each conflict resolution. So it's of course important to make sure every step is taken to be fair and respectful to all the team members or the parties within the relationship. So follow on to the next slide, and these are the different steps for conflict resolution. So it's important to keep a clear and simple process for all the managers to be able to apply it easily and promptly. The first one is to recognize that there is a problem. You need to look into early signs, don't ignore tensions within your team, and make sure you act early to prevent escalation. The second one is to stay calm and to stay professional throughout all the circumstances. Take a pause, take a break before actually engaging into the conversation, and keep your body language neutral as well. Sometimes the body will show more than the words could be. Then we will ask you to listen and to make sure you understand both sides. Let's not take assumptions early on. Let's just give the two parties the time to explain their opinion and their perspectives. Use open questions. Avoid any judgment. Just give them the opportunity to explain themselves. And from there, we follow on to clarifying the issue. It's important to check the facts, the roles, and the legal obligations that will be required into each situation. That includes, of course, the Fair Work Act that we mentioned before, but also any specific requirements to our organization. So they could be EA requirements, and of course, any type of awards or conditions of employment that each person will be under. Then we're going to be looking at solutions. How can we explore the different solutions together? What is the fairest outcome for all parties? What's the fair um, resolving outcome for you? What are you looking for in this instance? And from there, we try to find a common ground for all parties and we agree on a plan. We document each of those steps. It's important to make sure all the actions that had been taken have been documented, and also that includes the timelines. What were the dates, the duration, the notice between each of these steps? It's important. And follow on with that, once we've agreed on the plan, we're going to monitor and follow up the changes. Have the changes made a difference? Has there been any progress? Have the parties actually agreed to the plan and have abided by what the decisions were? So it's important to see if the solution is working. And in the instance where it might not be working, then we will need to escalate. So if that's the case, the HR team is there to help you. And going even further, the Fair Work Commission may have to be involved if things do continue to escalate. So if we continue on to our process, we have staying calm under pressure. So this is crucial for manager to be able to keep their calm and their professionalism throughout those difficult conversations. Stay calm under pressure at all times. For that, you have different methods. One of them it will be the PLETR model. So those letters stand for pause. Take a moment to compose yourself, to get prepared for the conversation, know what's coming, and already anticipate your body reaction. Then you listen. Let them talk. Don't interrupt. Let them express themselves and talk about their opinion, their point of view. And then we empathize. It's important to acknowledge the feelings, even if we disagree. Understand where they come from, understand what their situation exactly is, and try to put yourself in their shoes. From there, we think, consider the fact, consider all the different elements to the situation, and also includes to that the policies and procedures within our organization before we react. Have all the facts ready together. Two, in order to respond. That's the last letter to our model. Respond. Stay professional. Don't put too many emotions. Stick to the facts. Avoid the blame. Focus on the solutions. Give them a solution that will benefit both parties. So, to do that, how to find a common ground, we have different approaches available to you. The first one that's probably the most speaking to every organization would be the Thomas Kilmann model. So this, as you can see in our sixth slide, this is about finding a common balance between being cooperative and being assertive. So for that, we're looking at starting off with competing. Competing, it's how to be assertive and not cooperative. This can damage relationships, especially on the workplace. We're standing firm at the expense of others. We don't really consider their needs, but instead we just want to make quick decisions. And this is particularly used if there is a high authority in the relationship. One person will make a decision that might not suit the other person at all. If we look at then avoiding, this is on how to avoid, how to delay the issue. This is not assertive and not cooperative. We are trying to step aside the issue altogether, but unfortunately, prolonged avoidance will lead to unresolved issues, which is not healthy for a workplace either. Moving on to being collaborating. So, this is about being both assertive and cooperative. It's about finding a harmony within the conflict and trying to find solutions that will satisfy everyone involved, everyone in the relationship. It's about finding a win win situation for everyone. It's probably one of the best outcomes that we can get. Unfortunately, it does require a lot of time and a lot of resources, which might not be always available for the situation. And then we have accommodating. So this is about being cooperative, but not very assertive. It's about maintaining the relationship over winning the argument. We're just going to take whatever the other party is willing to give us without putting our needs first. So, unfortunately, this can also mean that we are being taken advantage of. So, between all of these 4 points, the best way is to try to find the middle ground, which is compromising. So, compromising is about meeting halfway. Both parties try to find a solution that might not be the most desired outcomes in their side. However, it can satisfy them even partially. So, this is a great outcome in pretty difficult and lengthy conflict. So now that we looked at all the different tools and resources, let's look at the key takeaways. Um, what can you remember? What can you take with you at the end of this training? First of all, is staying calm and professional. Remain fair in the situation. Put yourself in these people's shoes and listen. Absolutely listen and consider all the facts in the situation. Then just remember there is a structure, there is a process in place, so use it. Ask HR to support you, ask HR to review the policies, and who who is your safety net there that will be able to coach you and help you for the difficult conversations when the time comes. And finally, if you don't manage to resolve the conflict by yourself, escalate the situation. Don't let it sit, don't let it become worse over time. Just escalate the situation and reach for a solution. Thank you very much for your time. Now we are going to open the room for questions. If you have any questions, please throw it in. Yes, thanks, Tom. Thanks for this good question. Tom asked where the resources can be found. So first of all, the slides will be shared to you at the end of this meeting. And then also you can find, of course, copies of the policies and procedures on our intranet under our HR document site. So I'm happy to share the link to this website on this webpage, on our chat after this meeting. Great. So I've got a question for both of you now. If you were to be in a situation where a conflict arises within your team, what would you do differently next time after we've seen all the different methods and tools that are available to you? What will you do differently? So, Tom, you're talking about using the 5-step model? Yeah. So I'm happy to recap a little bit what those 5 steps were. So first of all, it's pause. It's PLETR. So first one is pause. Take a moment. Compose yourself. Take a breath. Second is listen. Let them talk. Don't interrupt. Listen to what they have to say. Emphasize. Acknowledge the feelings. Even if you disagree, just listen to them and try to understand their situation. Then think, consider the facts, consider our policies, consider the laws before you react. And then finally, respond. Give them a solution, offer them a solution. And whatever you do, stay professional and stick to the fact. It's not about your opinion, it's about what is objectively the best outcome. Thanks for that. And Asha, what about you? Yeah, thanks, Asha. That's a good one. So yes, I agree. Preparing for the meeting is important. Getting ready beforehand, remembering all the tools and support that you have available to you, and for that, reaching out to HR and seeking coaching and support is a great way to start. So, thank you. Thanks for that. All right, thank you, guys. This training session is now over. I really appreciate your time and your collaboration here, your participation. So if you have any more questions, please reach out afterwards. And as I said before, I will share those resources with you in a second now. Thanks. See you later. Bye.